Hola familia, welcome back. Today in this video we are going to be talking about sustaining a relationship with Hapé and cultivating the practice over time. This experience with the Hapé, this relationship with the Hapé is something that holds so many keys for our growth and our inquiry process, and our relationship with the Hapé changes over time. And so it's important to recognize that once you establish your relationship with the hape, there will be different chapters, different moments in your life where you work with this medicine in a different way. And so I'm going to talk in this video a little bit about what that means and what that can look like, especially in my experience over the last decade, having gone through very different chapters and relationships with the hape, and my relationship has evolved and gone through many different phases. And so I want to speak a little bit to that today, and first address the element of awareness and vigilance regarding the way that we work with the medicine, because we have this tendency as sentient beings, and especially in the West with the Western psyche, to be of consumption in nature, right? And so we know this about ourselves, and we know our tendency to depend on substances and utilize them as crutches. And this could be something like coffee or something like a drug that we utilize habitually. And so this is important to just name, because the hape, being that it has tobacco, it also has this ability to be turned into this crutch. And we really advocate for really cultivating and maintaining our relationship with the hape to be always on this caliber of sitting upon our altar from this place of reverence and respect. If you find or observe within your own being that your relationship with the hape has become more habitual than ritual, we highly recommend taking a step back and reevaluating and understanding what is going on there. From my experience, navigating relationship with tobacco is something that provides us profound insights into the ways that our psyche works, into the ways that we search for or go outside of ourselves to fill an empty space or to distract ourselves. And so from that perspective, we can utilize hape to navigate the inner workings of our mind and utilize it as a tool to really be radically honest with ourselves, and also to hold that bar of integrity of how we want to show up in relationship with the medicines. Whether you utilize the hape every day or infrequently, once a month, once every few months, either way, we always want to come from this place of respect and prayer and ritual. So some people ask, is it okay to work with the hape daily? For some people, working with the hape daily is supportive for them, because it is where they're at in their spiritual growth and evolution, where they are utilizing that tool with reverence and respect, and it's supporting them and helping find that daily clarity and that daily connection. Perhaps we don't have a strong meditation practice yet, or perhaps we haven't established a strong relationship with prayer. And so the hape is an easy tool or access point for us to navigate and find those deeper layers of our consciousness. So from this perspective, it's okay to work with hape daily if you're doing it from this place of respect and ritual. When we need to be extra cautious is when that daily prayer becomes daily habit. And if that's the case, then we need to, like I said, take a step back, and I'll speak in a moment of what that process looks like. But this can be for daily use, or it can be for less frequent use either, right, as well. It's ultimately, we need to be very vigilant with ourselves of how we're working with this medicine, how we're showing up with this medicine. Dieting the hape, taking breaks from the hape, is part of the traditional cultures. So this is first and foremost part of the architecture, the design for how the hape tribes operate with the hape. They will go long stretches of time where they're dieting essentially, and they're taking a long break from working with the hape. And this is incredibly important for realigning our relationship with the medicine, because the tobacco is so powerful and such a strong ally that one of the elements of the tobacco is there's this word in Spanish, it's like, it's engañar, which means like to, like you don't even know it, but then it's gotten you, and it's kind of gotten you under their control. So we talk about certain plants like that are very potent allies, and it's nothing to be afraid of or scared of. It's just something to have awareness of. Santa Maria is a good example of a plant that has that tendency to engañarnos, right? And so whenever we have a calling to work with one of those master plant teachers, we just want to have that awareness that we want to maintain a healthy balance of relationship with the plant. And if we notice that that is falling out of kilter, to take a step back. Taking a step back is incredible, because in that taking back, taking that spaciousness, what we do is we realign our dedication to why we're working with that medicine. We find reverence and deeper respect and understanding of its power, because it gives us this opportunity to zoom out and really reflect and observe, okay, this is how I've been operating with this medicine, and this is a little far from where I want to be operating from this medicine. And that's okay. That's part of studying with the plants. It's part of walking a plant medicine path, is always evaluating and checking in, and not just with the hape, but with all the medicines. Like, are we working with these medicines from this place of communion and ritual and respect, or from a place of dependency or trying to distract ourselves from something? And so that's one of the beautiful blessings that the hape offers us, this ability to be radically honest with ourselves and really evaluate our integrity in all moments. These diets are highly recommended, whether you work with the hape once a week, whether you work with the hape every day, whatever your relationship with the hape is. We highly recommend at least once a year, maybe more if needed, to take extended breaks from working with the hape. And while you're taking these diets, the hape stays on your altar, the hape and your relationship with the hape continues unfolding. You're just not working with it in that way of consumption. And so it's a really beautiful way to realign with the spirit of the plant. And there's a lot of different ways in which you can do a diet from the hape. Some different ways to approach it is by including spiritual payments. So doing an offering to really align and reorganize your relationship with the hape. You can give all of your hape to the earth, which is a really powerful way to kind of end one chapter and begin a new one, right? You can offer your kuripi to the earth, or to your tepi to the earth. And this is also a really beautiful payment that really is given from this place of asking with so much humility and reverence to be realigned by the spirit and the medicine, and to come back into balance and right relationship with the medicine. And so during this time, you can do plant baths, bitter plant baths, which have tobacco in them, and work with the tobacco in that way. You can work with the tobacco by aligning with the spirit of the tobacco in other ways. So if you pray with tobacco, with cigars, or with a pipe, some people, when they take time away from the hape, they let go of the hape practice, but then they study the tobacco in another way. And sometimes this can be helpful for gaining other information that wasn't coming through your relationship with the hape because of the way that you were working with it. And so this spaciousness can be incredibly potent. And you'll find that when you take time away from a medicine, it can sometimes be just as potent as when you're working with it, because you're working with it still, just in a different way, and the information goes reorganizing and coming to you in different ways. And so it's very beautiful, and it can also deepen your relationship with the medicine, because, for example, you're not praying with hape in that way, but you're connecting with the hape. You're connecting with the hape on your altar when you go to sit for prayer and meditation. You're feeling the essence and the vibration of the spirit of the tobacco. You can even invoke the spirit of the tobacco in a moment when you need it, and you're not going to pray with hape, but you can close your eyes and go into meditation, concentration, where you're invoking and connecting with the essence of the tobacco and recalling the frequency of the tobacco from your experience with the hape. And in this way, it's a very beautiful and intimate process that actually develops your relationship with the plant in this way. Like I said, at least twice a year, taking those breaks. And as far as how long you need to take them, you can really like trust your intuition on that. But typically we will recommend, at least 30 days to really reset and recalibrate your relationship with the medicine. And then you'll notice that when you go back to working with the medicine, that your relationship is completely different and that you are approaching it from that original intention of how to work with it. And it's so beautiful to return back to the medicine after making that offering of really, stepping back, because you'll find that the potency and the realignment that takes place is very palpable and felt. And so that's one of the elements that we really recommend with sustaining the practice of the hape over time. And then the other element is also recognizing that our relationship with hape might change over time. We might go through periods where we don't feel called to work with the hape, months, years even, where the hape is not part of our daily altar. It's not part of the way in which we commune with life and nature. And that's perfect. That's okay. And then we might go through periods where we're really feeling like we want to do a very in-depth study with the hape, where we're working with it regularly, or maybe we have an opportunity to go down to the Amazon jungle and sit with some of the traditional hape carriers and receive hape from an indigenous wisdom keeper and study the hape on a whole new level, or maybe learn how to make the hape, right? So there are so many different evolutions of the journey with this medicine and with all the medicines. And it's important to just keep in mind that the spiritual path is very long. And so it's natural to go through different phases, different stages of working with the plants, of not working with the plants. Sometimes not working with the plants brings this element of integration and embodiment that is just as potent. And so really just being open to that, and also knowing and having in our awareness that we don't know what tomorrow or next year looks like. All we know is how we're working with the medicine now, what our relationship with the medicines are today. And from that place, it gives a little bit more spaciousness to know that things can change. We might not feel called to work with a certain medicine again, and that's okay, but don't write it off, because it's an ally, right? And you might need it, or you might want to come back to it years down the line. So we never really know. And that's really the beauty of these wisdom plants, these teacher plants, is that they're here accompanying us and here for us to work with and call upon. And whether we're working with them and using them, or they're just there accompanying us, that's really what they're doing. They're here accompanying us on our journey, walking us home, and really, being allies and guardians to our spiritual path and to our time here on earth in these earthly bodies. With sustaining the path, ultimately recognizing that we're here for a long time, and to really just treat each communion, each opportunity to work with these sacred plants with the sacredness that they really ask for and require. And from this place, knowing and recognizing what it means to be in right relationship with the plant teachers, as well as the indigenous cultures that are sharing these ancestral traditions with us so openly and lovingly, always giving gratitude and thanks for the blessing to be able to come into contact with these sacred ancient remedies and botanicals, because these medicines have traveled so far to be with us, and literally have taken boats and planes and cars and taxis and buses, so many different methods of transportation just to arrive at our doorstep. And so it's such a magnificent blessing to have access to these tools at this time in humanity's evolution, and they really are here to support us in our collective consciousness healing and growth and recovery and return back to the way of the heart. And so I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I wish you many blessings on your spiritual journey, your journey with plants, and thank you so much for your support of our platform and what we're doing.